What if I told you that getting cited more in AI search results may actually be hurting your business? You might get mentioned in every AI answer about your category, but framed in ways that hurt you. Or your content might get cited as a source, but AI never actually recommends your brand by name. The most successful brands are both mentioned favorably and cited. In this video, we will start by looking at some examples of brands that have figured out how to get LLMs to mention them favorably. Then, stick around for the end because I am going to give you a framework you can use to do this yourself. You won't want to miss it. Example 1, Tally, winning the scene game through Community. Tally is an online form builder. With a small 8-person team, they bootstrapped to $4 million in annual revenue with no outside funding. And AI search is now their biggest acquisition channel. ChatGPT is their #1 source of new signups, bringing in over 2,000 new users per week. That growth didn't come from marketing blitz. It came from Tally's co-founder, Marie Martins, spending years doing one thing consistently, answering questions on Reddit. She answers questions about form builders, shares technical insights, and joins existing conversations with genuine expertise. But she's not dropping Tally links in every comment. When someone asks, "What's the best free form builder?" she responds with helpful context. And if Tally is relevant, only then does she mention it naturally. As Marie wrote, "We've invested for years showing up in those places by sharing what we learn, answering questions, and being human." When ChatGPT's web browsing pulls in Reddit threads, blog mentions, and forum discussions as source material, Tally keeps appearing in positive, authentic contexts. This helps build trust within the AI systems that lean on these sources for their responses. Zoho does this at enterprise scale too, actively answering questions on Reddit and addressing user concerns in public. As a result, they rank among the top brands by share of voice in AI responses for digital technology. Here's what you can do this week to start emulating the best practices of Tally and Zoho for your own brand. First, search Reddit for a question about your product category and write one genuinely helpful answer. Don't link to your product, just be useful. Then do it again next week. Marie did this for years before it paid off, but the compounding starts with the first post. Now, that's a founder-led approach. What about brands where no single person can be the voice? Our next example built even stronger AI visibility, and they did it by getting their customers to do the talking. Example 2, Patagonia, winning the scene game through customer evangelism. For our second example, we will look at a completely different approach. Tally's founder built visibility by showing up personally. Patagonia built it by designing policies that make their customers show up for them. Ask ChatGPT about sustainable outdoor brands, and Patagonia absolutely dominates. According to the Semrush AI Visibility Index, Patagonia holds the highest share of voice in AI answers for the entire fashion and apparel vertical, and one of the highest favorable sentiment scores we track. What drives that? Look at what their customers actually talk about. Their ironclad guarantee, return anything, anytime, for any reason, generates a constant stream of Reddit advocacy. Customers don't just praise the jackets, they tell stories about returning a 10-year-old fleece and getting a replacement. That's the kind of specific experiential content that AI sees as a clear trust signal. Their worn wear resale program, their environmental commitments, their visible public stances, each of these creates a talking point that customers bring up unprompted in forums, social media, and independent publications. Now, none of this content comes from Patagonia's marketing team, and all of it feeds the corpus AI draws from when answering questions about outdoor brands. And it compounds. Customer experiences generate independent content, AI reads it and uses it to recommend Patagonia, which brings in new customers who have their own experiences, ones they might share online, and the loop continues, so on and so forth. The tactic here is to design policies, guarantees, and brand commitments that give customers specific things worth telling others about. A generous return policy, a visible environmental stance, a resale program. Each one creates a talking point that generates independent content at scale, the kind of content AI weighs more heavily than anything your marketing team can publish. Now, those first two examples cover the scene side, getting mentioned with favorable framing. Now, what it takes to be trusted, to earn citations as a source. Example 3, Garmin, winning the trusted game through consistency. Garmin appears in virtually every best GPS watch roundup published online. Runner's World, The Great Outdoors, Tech Radar, and dozens more across running, cycling, and outdoor categories. What makes this work for AI isn't just showing up on those lists, it's the consensus across them. Dozens of independent publications confirm the same specs, the same features, and the same product details. AI sees that repetition from trusted sources and treats it as verified information. So when someone asks ChatGPT for the best GPS watch, it highlights the specific features that independent reviews emphasize repeatedly: battery life, accuracy, solar charging, water resistance. In this case, AI isn't pulling those details from Garmin's website, but synthesizing what trusted third-party sources consistently confirm. The result is one of the highest shares of voice in ChatGPT and Google AI mode responses for consumer electronics. 3 things make this tactic replicable, and you can start them right after finishing this video. First, make journalists' job easy. Garmin built a press kit page with specs, pricing, and high-resolution images, everything a writer on a deadline needs, ready to go. Second, expand beyond your obvious category. Garmin doesn't just target best GPS watch. They show up in running watch roundups, cycling computer comparisons, multi-sport gear guides, and outdoor equipment reviews. Each adjacent category multiplies the independent mentions. And to be clear, we're not advocating for spreading yourself too thin. Garmin has spent years building authority in each of these spaces. For you, that may only mean one product category. But if you have the opportunity to branch out beyond your primary category, the SEO benefits will likely follow. Third, time your outreach. Most best of lists update annually. Garmin pitches before those refresh, when publications are actively looking for updated products to feature. That consistency is what earns citations. But our final example took a completely different approach. Example 4, SentinelOne. Garmin earns citations by being consistent across many independent sources. But SentinelOne took a different approach. They became the only source for certain information, so AI has no choice but to cite them. How did they build it? By publishing research that AI cannot find anywhere else. SentinelOne regularly publishes threat intelligence reports with proprietary data, technical analyses, and security findings that don't exist in any other source. If AI needs to cite a finding about a specific cybersecurity threat, SentinelOne may be the only option. That exclusivity makes their content uniquely citation-worthy. But the real power is in how it compounds. Their research gets covered by Forbes, TechCrunch, and industry publications. AI cites those publications, and that coverage generates more authority for SentinelOne. More authority drives more citations, which drives more media interest, and so the cycle continues, continuously building SentinelOne's authority and visibility. The tactic here is to publish original research with real data that answers questions no one else can answer. Annual surveys with substantial sample sizes, 500 respondents or more, not 50, benchmark studies using actual performance data, proprietary analyses with findings that are genuinely new. Then promote those findings through press releases and industry publications so they reach what we call the citation core, the small group of domains like Wikipedia, Forbes, Reddit, and Tech Radar that AI platforms consistently default to as trusted sources in your industry. When your research gets picked up by a citation core site, the compounding effects kicks in. Your data becomes the evidence AI needs, and that's how you move from being a brand AI mentions to being the source it cites. Now, before you get into the tactics of what you need to do now, if you're getting value out of this video, we'd really appreciate a like and a subscribe to the Semrush channel for more content just like this. What to do now? So here's the playbook. 4 tactics, and the order you tackle them depends on one quick diagnostic. Open a new tab, ask ChatGPT to recommend a product in your category. Look at the response and ask yourself 2 questions. Am I mentioned? And if so, how am I described? You can also repeat this for other flagship AI assistants like Google AI Mode, Perplexity, and Claude for an even broader picture. If you're not mentioned at all, start with tactics 1 and 2. Get into the communities where your customers talk, answer questions, share expertise, be genuinely helpful the way Tally's Marie Martins did on Reddit. And look at the customer facing policies. Is there a guarantee, a program, or a commitment remarkable enough that customers bring it up unprompted? The way Patagonia's ironclad guarantee generates Reddit threads without Patagonia lifting a finger. If you are mentioned but the framing is wrong, basic, limited, etc., those same two tactics fix it. Community presence and customer advocacy reshape the signals AI draws from. Once you're being mentioned favorably, shift to tactics 3 and 4, earning citations. Get on the best of lists in your category and the adjacent categories around it, the way Garmin shows up in running, cycling, and outdoor roundups. Make it easy. Build a press page with specs, pricing, and images so journalists on deadlines can feature you without friction. And if you can, publish original research with data no one else has, the way SentinelOne did. That's how you become a source AI has to cite. The brands that are winning today are working both dimensions, seen and trusted at the same time. Okay, so that diagnostic I just walked you through, asking ChatGPT and studying the response, is a good starting point. But if you want the full picture of where your brand stands across AI platforms, not just one query, Semrush's AI Visibility Toolkit can benchmark your share of voice, sentiment, and citation rate against your competitors. It shows you exactly which side of the framework beats work. Link is in the description. Now, we're publishing in-depth actionable videos every week to help you succeed online. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and we will see you in the next one.